And welcome back to another episode of Over the Glass. I am your host, Jey.
And I'm co-host Ness. What a week, huh?
It's been a week. It's been a type of week. It's interesting that I went to go get my hair cut yesterday, and my hairstylist was also sick, and I asked her, "Oh, when did you get sick?" And she said on Tuesday. I'm like, "Me too." So there must have been something going on Tuesday that just made everybody ill.
Sick.
Just, more than one way, I suppose.
I got a weekend on wait. What is my brain doing? I actually got a haircut on Friday. Look at us. Look at us with our clean cuts. Just wanted to show that off. This is like the second time that we coincidentally get a haircut the same weekend. So, do we want to start off talking about drama?
Like real world drama?
No, don't be silly. Unless you have something to say. I'm not talking about real world drama. I'm talking about sports.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to our favorite soap opera. So I mean, okay, so I guess I'll start out by saying, like, I did see that there was some chatter about what was going on with Jake Walman because he was scratched the game after that OT loss, was it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember anymore. What is time? Was it on was it the game on Tuesday? Because I could hardly remember that game. I was stuffed up and other things were happening, and so it was really hard to pay attention to the game.
Right.
But all I remember is that Jake Walman was scratched, and then there was like talk online about, oh, did Warsawski scratch him because he, was on the ice for that goal against, and what does this mean with how Warsawski is handling, disciplining our guys? Because I've seen also a lot of people are like, well, if he's gonna do that, Ferraro's like right there, and but turns out Jake Walman apparently was scratched because he missed a what is it called? His treatment day. I guess he wasn't very clear that on the instructions, and he missed his appointment, and because of that, he had to sit down and think about what he did.
He was put on timeout, but he was questionable for the game regardless. I just think that the way that things were announced was really weird, and it made it feel like there was actual drama that happened behind the scenes, because when Warsawski had mentioned it, he was like, that's all I'll say about it, is that he's not going to be playing tonight or whatever. And then Walman's like, I can't say anything, just, something on my part. And then they wouldn't admit whether or not he was going to play that game regardless of what had happened. And then when it came up that it was something that happened off ice, it was like, what did he do?
Drama.
Right. So it's like, did he like talk back to the coach? Like, who knows? People are talking, speculating. It turns out it was a silly protocol thing, and he probably would have sat out anyway because he has this upper body injury. He didn't play the last game. He's still a game time decision for tonight. So it is what it is. It was just
don't panic, guys. The vibes are still good in the locker room. There's no
right.
drama happening. Saski's just putting his foot down. He's like, this is the lay of the land. I'm in charge, and this is how I'm going to handle it. And, at least that kind of clears up things because, especially for the Sharks, we've gone through how many coaches, and every coach handles things a certain way. And so we're still kind of getting our feet wet with how Warsawski's going to handle things. We know that there's a lot of our up-and-coming young guys hoping to get into the lineup. So we know that even when Will Smith gets scratched, it's not, they're not trying to send a message to him or something. We know what's going to happen, just to kind of make sure that we're not ending up, pushing. Like, I mean, he's used to playing college hockey seasons, which is definitely not nearly as long as an NHL season. So we're just trying to do, like, the coaching staff's just trying to do their best to give these guys an opportunity to get acclimated to the game, to at a pace that is going to be beneficial for them, and not just trying to get them to, like, unrealistic standards. And of course, we want to make sure we're not just letting our depth just kind of keep the bench warm. Like, we want to get them in and give them opportunities as well. So a lot of things, we're just kind of getting used to how Warsofsky is going to handle all that this season with his first time behind the NHL bench. So I'm not worried about it. I do want to mention that I did get to catch some of the Barracuda game last night. I'm very interested in seeing more of Shakir Mukhamadulin's process, and maybe we'll get to see him later down the line. So there's a lot of great up and coming guys in our prospect polls. So even when these dudes get scratched, I'm trying not to read too much into it when it does happen. But I guess in particular with Jake Walman, he is one of our, better defensemen on our current roster. So it was a little strange that he gets scratched, where it's like outside of the initial theories of, like, oh, is it because he was on the ice for the losing goal? Like, outside of that, there were a lot of obviously good things that he brings to our defensive lineup.
Right. I've missed him all week on my fantasy team. It's been so sad and so quiet without him. I do want to talk about some wholesome news. On when was the 7th? 3 days ago. Was that Thursday? Thursday was Hockey Fights Cancer Night for the Sharks, and every year they invite children, pediatric cancer patients, to come and join the players on the ice as they're doing, like, the intros and the, what do you call them? Anthems. And so they invited one particular kid to do the puck drop. Oh my god, I didn't open up the tweet. I forgot this kid's name. Ezra. Thank you. So this kid, Ezra, he had just finished his chemotherapy, and they decided to have him ring his remission bell on the ice just before the puck drop. And it was, like, so wholesome, so beautiful, so heartwarming to see, because you could see that he's fighting tears as he's ringing that bell. It's I don't know, for such a shitty week that we've been having, it was nice to see something good happening, Just wanted to
comment. It's crazy, especially, cancer in general is insane to deal with, and I just can't even imagine, like, this, Ezra being so young and having to fight that fight. But what a great moment for him to be able to come out and ring that bell after all that he's gone through and be in remission. Like, I just hope that he's going to be able now to just focus on living his life, and that was just a really nice thing to see for the opening puck drop.
Yeah. Good stuff. Speaking of that game.
Yeah, speaking of kids, one of our kids got back into the lineup this week. Macklin Celebrining. We've been waiting for your return.
This was his third game this season, I believe, because he was out He got 2 goals, his first multi-goal game. We lost, but he showed up. Obviously, he's not perfect. The kid is 18 years old. He has lots to work on, but the things that he was doing right was like, yeah, I like that. That's fun.
The guy just like did not miss a beat. Like he came right back in. Like he hadn't even been gone for a couple of weeks. He gets the first goal in this game for the Sharks was, I believe it was off of a Toffoli pass, was it? And it was right behind the net, and Celebrining, of course, crashing the net to help out. I think he's the one that brings it into the zone. So he's not only generating the play, but then he's continuing to stay focused on how he can continue to help. And of course, right in front of the net, yeah, he's like bringing it into the zone. And he passes it off, and then he's continuing to the net, and he's right there to pick up the pass behind the net, right past Fleury. And if that wasn't already an exciting goal to see, now that he actually got to see his goal go in instead of like spinorama, assuming that Eklund's the one who touched it. His second goal of that game was a no-look shot from the point that went glove side on Marc-Andre Fleury. And I did see post-game, Fleury talked about how he obviously was singing praises for, what a bright future Celebrini has in the league, and it was one of those goals that he definitely would have wanted to have back. But just his ability to kind of, he did that all on his own. He was right there at the blue line, and he just had his head up the whole way. I think his like tongue was hanging out at one point, and then he's just like slithers through, and then no look shot top corner. Like, come on.
Talk about confidence.
Please. Why is the NHL not talking more about Macklin Celebrini?
Yeah, they only put out like 1 tweet about him. Well, I guess 2 for both of his goals.
Sleeping on the Sharks.
Per usual. It's okay. We don't need the attention.
And was this the same game? No, it wasn't the same game. We do also want to highlight Alexander frickin' Lundberg.
Oh,
The OT goal, going freaking coast to coast like he's freaking Connor McDavid. Like right. Who is Connor McDavid anyway? Like, come on. Alexander Lundberg here can do it all. He just took on the entire team and was just like cruise control. Oh, now I remember, of course, this is against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then in post game, I believe he mentioned that he knows to go high glove side on Versleeken because he was originally on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I'm like, oh.
It works.
Converge to your former teammate. Like, I know your weaknesses. Were you scared to see me there?
Right. That was the last game that they won, I believe, on Tuesday or something. Yeah, Tuesday. I didn't catch that one, but oh my gosh, I finally been able to catch some games. I missed hockey. It's been so nice. Flashes of some good things happening on the Sharks as well as the struggles. The struggles continue, but sometimes you gotta focus on like the fun things that happen off ice. This photo that came out from their Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the Swedes. Who is that next to Eklund? In the green. I honestly I don't know who's who anymore on this team.
I don't know. What about it?
I'm just curious who that is. Anyways, these guys dressed up as Ghostbusters and Eklund dressed up as a ghost for Halloween. It's the cutest picture. I can't tell what Sturm is dressed up as, but he's in there.
I particularly liked, I didn't get a chance to put this on here today, but I'm remembering that picture with Celebrining and Smith. That baby.
Yes. Oh, apparently that was Wenberg's baby.
Oh, baby.
It looked like a family photo.
Why are these babies holding a baby?
It was cute. Halloween's
Our
fun.
precious team. It's good to see them going out together and having fun.
Yeah. The vibes are still up, y'all. We like it. We like to see it.
It is all good in Sharks territory. Now we're going to take a moment to talk about the sponsor of this episode, Raycon.
Yay.
Raycon gets you an amazing deal on premium audio every day of the year, but that doesn't mean that they're not having any sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Far from it. They're actually doubling down on their amazing value by offering our viewers up to 30% site-wide. A Black Friday Cyber Monday deal you'll appreciate every day. Raycon's everyday earbuds, especially if you haven't checked out their latest model, which includes plenty of new features that make them even more of a must-have for any audio lover. For example, there's now features of a 32-hour battery life and multi-connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. Raycon's everyday earbuds also come with active noise cancellation. It's a feature that is a must-have for me. Look, I am not a morning person. If you've been on this podcast, if you've been checking us out for some time, you might have gotten those vibes. Even at noon, I'm just coming around and being my cheerful self. But if you have the pleasure of working at my 9 to 5 with me, most of my coworkers understand that between the hours of 9 and 10, you're really not going to get a very coherent conversation with me. And there are plenty of extroverted morning people in my office. And usually that's the time when I like to take to get some busy work done, to get in my zone. And so, active noise cancellation is just perfect for me, especially since I've got to obviously stay aware of people who need to ask me questions, but I also want to try and get some work done. And so that ability to noise cancel out people is perfect for me. Because that's another thing. Although Raycon's quality rivals some of the biggest names in premium audio, Raycon starts at just half the price of other guys. So there's already an incredible deal even before you factor in their Black Friday Cyber Monday offer of up to 30% off site-wide. Personally, I like the little earbuds. I have my own set of like over the head types, but I really like the mobility of having like the small ones to give you a little charging case to carry around. You can pop it right into your bag and get on with your day. Raycon's everyday earbuds is also available in a variety of vibrant colors, so you don't have to just have the standard issue white or black earbuds sticking out of your ears. I particularly like the pink ones that they have for their everyday earbuds. It's got a little bit of like a chrome kind of shine on it. I'm a big fan of a variety of different colors and styles. It kind of helps to sort of up your personality of your everyday wear, and there's a lot of great options on their website for you to find something that matches your personality. Now's the perfect time to scoop them up if you haven't already. And don't worry if you're not that impressed as I am. Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you really can't lose. It's time to save big on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So go buy raycon.com/THPN today to get up to 30% off site-wide. That's right. You'll get up to 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go by raycon.com/THPN. Okay. So
we have a guest. This is Appa.
if you're not watching us right now, Ness has a cat in her possession. So
He's
if
bugging
you're not
me.
watching, you missed out on the fur ball there. So one other thing that we like on this podcast is seeing the good vibes coming out of the locker room. We shared a little bit of this person who tweeted out just a whole list of questions that they would love to ask an NHLer, and this found its way over to the Seattle Kraken. And so they picked out a number of questions off of this list, and they just started asking guys in the locker room what they thought. In particular, one of them was asking them if they're scared that they're going to get their teeth knocked out, if they use conditioner, whether they try to skate away from the ref when they know that they've, in hopes that maybe the ref won't give them the penalty. So it was nice to kind of see the guys sort of engaged with that, and give a little back to their fans.
Yeah. When I first saw the video, I was like, oh, I don't think I saw the retweeted tweet. Or I didn't see that they had quote tweeted, whatever it's called. And I was just watching the video. And then I recognized some of the questions because I had seen that post previously. And so then I saw it and I went back and I was like, oh, that's nice of them. Because, like, hockey fans just be putting anything out into the universe. But, like, and I'm sure that a lot of admin, like the official team admins, see these things, but they're either not allowed to do anything with it or they just don't. So it was nice to see that this actually, like, something came out of it, because some of those questions are really silly and very unserious. But it's like, yeah, I actually would like to know the answer to that, actually. And so it's nice to get a little insight on their perspective on things.
One of the guys, and I'm not too familiar with the guys out in the Kraken, but one of them did admit that he's a little scared to get his teeth knocked out. I'm like, come on, like, you should be. I think I guess after the first one, you're a little less fearless, but I just always think back to when Couture took that puck to the face
against the
and
Preds.
there were some pictures that came out where he is in the dentist chair, and I just, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I mean, at the end of the day, their only option is to wear the half visor, which I think is just completely stupid for this league, but it is what it is. I don't expect it to change ever, because these guys just enjoy bashing themselves in the face. But that just looked, I mean, did he talk about, like, having a hard time sleeping, or am I mixing it up with some other thing?
Eating, sleeping, breathing, probably. It was a tough time.
Yeah. I mean, he, like,
That's
they
trauma.
basically had to kind of, like, reconstruct his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, and I just go to the dentist, and every now and then I have to get a filling, and it sucks. So I can't imagine having my teeth knocked out, and then now you have to make sure that my gums are whatever you need to do after that. And then obviously he got some kind of whatever to put his teeth back in. Like, I can't even begin to imagine how painful that is. So, I mean, I know that hockey players are always being celebrated for how tough they are, but that hurts. I don't think there's any way there's there's nowhere else around it outside of it's gonna hurt.
Right.
And you're just gonna have to hope that it just is a clean knockout. And then you're like, oh well, I guess I don't have one tooth versus what Couture had to deal with was just like an annihilation of his face.
Right. I'm sorry. My cat is like walking in front of my screen and I'm trying to stay really focused. He's bugging me today. I didn't realize he was in here before we started. But yes, Couture has been through a lot in his career. I think, listen, that was nasty. Just to watch him get his teeth knocked out, there was blood everywhere. He looked like he was in some serious pain, and then I think he missed at least a month of worth of games or something because he had to have multiple surgeries and like heal from all of that. And then he just came back like nothing. I feel like if that were to happen to me, that's trauma. I need to go to therapy to work through that. I'm not gonna want to go back out there.
But then I'm sure he's also like hocked up on pain meds as well.
Sure.
And then you just have the adrenaline of being out there, and then just like, yeah, just the energy behind like, yeah, like I'm a hockey player. And at the end of the day, you just go home to your bed and start crying.
Yeah, once the drugs wore off.
But this trying to skate away from the penalty is kind of funny to me though. My first penalty ever in beer league was apparently I hip checked someone, which is a total lie because this guy's was 6 foot. It's okay. There's no way I could have hip checked this guy. What ended up happening was that we were coming through the neutral zone and I was back skating, defending him. And when he tried to go to the left, I also went to the left. And I guess he kind of ran into me. And then it looked like I mean, at the end, like, if anything, call me for like an interference, even though it actually isn't because he has the puck, right? I'm the one who fell backwards. And he was the one who came over and asked if I was okay. So I don't understand how I get a penalty for a hip check. But all that to say that I didn't know I had the penalty because it just the whole scenario was obviously looked like I shouldn't have gotten it, but the ref had to skate over to me and tell me to go in the box. And I was just like, what? What did I do?
Something's not right.
And it just sat there for in beer league the penalties are 3 minutes long because we have a running clock. But I just sat in the box for the next 3 minutes going like analyzing in my head how is that a hip check?
What did you check? His thigh?
Yeah, like his knee.
His ankles.
And then after the game, the guys in the locker room were joking with me, calling me a goon. I was like, yes.
Jey the goon. That's silly.
You're
so
hip
small.
checking people. Oh my god. Dumb. Anyways, so the PWHL, after the first season of just having names and colors to their jerseys, they came out with their official kits, and we're here to talk about it right off the bat.
Do you have a favorite?
I have two that are my favorite.
Okay.
I will give praise to the New York Sirens because that is my team. That is our team, I believe. I just love the whole color aspect of it, like the logo. I mean, I like it. Is it my favorite among the favorites? Not necessarily, but as a whole, I'm just loving the whole color scheme going on there. And then my second favorite would be Montreal's.
Wait. So what's your first favorite?
The Sirens.
Oh, just because that's your team?
I love the whole kit,
Right.
like the
Okay.
color and like everything.
I think I agree with you about the sirens because I do like that color combination and the designs and stuff. I think the Montreal's looks really clean and very classic. Um, I'm not sure about the placement of the logo on that jersey. It feels high. Actually, they all feel really high, except for like Toronto's, and New York's is okay. Um, I'm a sucker for lavender. I have said this before. I really like the combination that what are they called? Minnesota
Frost.
Frost.
Minnesota
I wanted to
Frost.
say Forest, and I was like, wait, that's the last league, and that's not the
Freeze.
right.
Mr. Freeze.
Frost. I don't care for their logo. I do love their colors for Minnesota. So I'm not sure I could pick a favorite because each one has a flaw that I'm just like, I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
I feel. But definitely the
I
three in the middle in this photo I like.
I will say that initially I wasn't a fan of the Boston Fleet when
Mm-hmm.
they just had the logo out. I was
Mm-hmm.
just feeling very underwhelmed with it, but now that it's on the jersey and we've had some time to kind of let it bleed into my eyes, and it's growing on me. I feel better about it.
Is it the secondary color? Is it the jersey itself?
I'm not sure what kind of has me on the uphill battle or like the optimistic train of not feeling like how I initially felt about it. I just recall earlier in the week when this came out, I was talking about it with some other friends, and one of them had mentioned liking the Boston Fleet one. And when I took a look at it, he said, "You know what? I do too. I do like it more now than when I felt about it initially." And it must be just how it is now that it's not just a graphic, now
Yeah.
that it's there, like, and actually you can, if it were here, I could feel it and I could kind of, you know, it feels more alive and present, I suppose. Like something about that. It just seems to, I can see the vision now that they were kind of going after. And I can see it being like how they wanted it to be like like an anchor, like a hook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm appreciating that more now than when I initially saw it, and, obviously, it also reads as a B,
Yeah.
and I think when I first looked at it, that's kinda what I homed in on,
Sure.
and then I didn't really care so much about the little waves in it. I think it was very disjointed for me, like, I wasn't seeing, like, the whole, vision of it, but now that I think, like, I can step away from it and see it again, I see it
Yeah.
differently. Yeah.
I think the anchor into the B is really clever. Um,
Mm.
I still don't like how they executed it.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, there's aspects of each of them where I'm like, I wish there was more
Right.
to it,
Now that I'm
but
staring at this photo, I agree with you. I think the sirens is my favorite. There's just something that feels more complete about it compared to the others because
mhm.
I really don't care for Toronto's logo. And then I saw a tweet of someone comparing it to Taylor Swift's in one of her music video when she's a cheerleader or something.
Yeah, I
I was
did see
like,
that one too.
that's
Makes
crazy
it
how
worse.
similar they look.
It
They're gonna get sued.
does not help things. Well, from my perspective, I feel like, oh, it doesn't make it as compelling to me
Mhm.
as, like, I was hoping that it would grow on me, and now that it was compared to that, I'm like, that doesn't make it feel, like, as strong, but I
Right.
don't know. I'm not on board with Taylor Swift like Swifties are or whatever. So maybe that's a
Right.
thing that they'll enjoy. A connection with
Right.
Taylor Swift. I don't know.
I think the kit itself is pretty plain. Like there's something more they could have done with the striping or whatever. For
Mhm.
Calgary, I I do enjoy the logo in that it feels very cartoony.
So I'm gonna stop
You
you
know?
right there because it's not Calgary, it's Ottawa.
Oh shit. Sorry.
But
But you
but
you see
I
you
I
see the
understand
flaws.
what you mean because that's what I felt wasn't great about it, that it looks too much like the Calgary Flames. And it
Yes.
would have been fine if you were Calgary, some kind of like,
Right. My bad.
connection, but it isn't.
Look what you're doing to Ottawa. So wait, is it an O or a C? Because that looks like a C.
It's a
What's
C
their name?
because they're the Ottawa Charge.
Charge. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not that
Yeah.
crazy. It is what it is
So
over there. I think their secondary and third color is interesting. It really pops out because a blue and a yellow with the red is different. I don't know.
mhm,
Again, the Force, love the kits. I don't care for their logo. There's just so much empty space going on there. It feels very
mhm,
no me gusta.
yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I've pretty much spoken about the other ones. I think for Boston, they might have one too many stripes for my liking.
I can see that, I can see that. Yeah.
Man, we should create our own jerseys. Get over the glass hockey jerseys.
Okay. You get on top of that.
Yeah, wait. Tomorrow.
Okay. Um, while we're on the topic of amazing women in sport, we just got to witness the first ever Bay FC in the playoffs just about an hour ago. Unfortunately, they did not get to advance. Congratulations to the Washington Spirit for advancing into the semifinals, but what an amazing run for Bay FC in their inaugural season. They clinched the 7th position and they gave us one hell of a showing in the quarterfinals. It was a really exciting first half. Like, I mean, it was just crazy the amount of back and forth that you were kind of feeling and like the tension in the middle of the field where they were just trying to like grab possession. I just felt like it was a really competitive first half, and then I felt like it kind of started to get really intense in the second half. And like Bay FC, I just felt like had so many good chances. I mean, I remember I was hearing like some commentary about the Spirits goalkeep Kingsbury and how she's just like an amazing goalkeep in the league. So just the fact that we were up against like a really elite player. I mean, like all of like the corner kicks, I was like holding my breath every time it went into the air, and she would jump in there and grab it out. And we just had like a lot of great chances. And then, obviously we got the first goal off of Oshuala's foot, and that was really amazing. Only to have the Spirit come back just like a minute after that, push it into extra time. And unfortunately, the lead that the Washington Spirit got was an own goal off of Didasco, and it's just unfortunate. But like at no point during that game was I disappointed. I was just like, "This is amazing. We are here. What a treat!" That's just how I felt the whole time. And then up until and like it was interesting to see them go up against Rodman and the number of yellow cards that like our players were getting, like defending her. I mean, obviously her being on the national team, she's one of like the best players out on the field. But you know, we were really working hard to contain her. I think if anything, like she like assisted on a goal or something like that. So just the amount of effort and how far they has come from their first game ever to here. I mean, you know, I've been following it from day one, and I'm just so happy with this team. Like they really showed out for this first ever playoff match, and I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't get to watch it because I think I would have been upset by the way they lost. An own goal, like I would have accepted it if it was like, okay, the Spirit got in there last minute and scored a goal. Like, yeah, they're a good team. I watched them play. I don't know, earlier in the season, and they were good. But then when I heard it was an own goal, I was like, that is the shittiest way to lose playoffs. Like, imagine how those players feel. Imagine the player who hit the freaking ball into their own net. How awful she must feel right now. But I mean, like, things happen in the game that you can't help or whatever. I don't know what happened. I'll probably find a highlight of it later. But that's that's probably one of the ickiest feelings to end your run, you know? We beat ourselves, literally.
Yeah, I think Didasco was trying to defend I think it hit her head, and I
Mm.
think she was trying to deflect it like the other way, and it ended up going in the wrong
In
direction. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
that sucks.
yeah. But you know, like I said, it was I just felt like nothing could go wrong right now. They're putting on an amazing show for us. There were so many good chances. Their goal keep on the other end was like amazing. I mean, I don't like I think I would have felt a little more disappointed if like with how strong they came out in the final couple of games to hold on to that. We were originally like in the 8th position in the standings, and I was just thinking like, oh, if we could just hold on to the 8th position, only for us to continue to do well, and we got to move up in the standings to the 7th position. And how disappointing would it be if all of a sudden all of our momentum, we just started like landsliding, like, you know, and we end up doing ourselves a disservice by then falling out of position and not making the playoffs. So it just seemed like in those last couple of games, like we really understood what we needed to do. And I felt like the team really came together and made sure that they tightened up on defense. Like some of those passes and everything, and I'm like, wow, this is such an exciting game. Like just
Yeah.
how just like I mean, I've never played soccer, and just the way that they could find themselves, you know, um, the way that they could see how to get the ball to a player through all of this traffic, like I mean, and then just just like how quickly their brain has to work to kind of to see all that. Like, I mean, I know like we watch a very fast-paced game of hockey, but it's like to see it for soccer, I just feel like it's even more impressive just because like it's such a bigger field. There's way more players out there, just like the way that you can like time how to kick it to get it ahead so that the player you're trying to get it to will run into it just at that moment. Like I'm impressed the whole time. I'm like, I am so impressed.
Physics.
That is so cool. And they were doing all that versus like if you go back and you watch some of the earlier games, I mean, obviously this being a new team, they're gonna take some time to get used to each other, and so you expected their chemistry to be way off, and then even halfway through the season, you can kind of see them adjusting more to each other, but then you're still like, like we're still not connecting in a way that, like, you just saw so many opportunities just like fall flat. And then as we get later into the season, it's just been so exciting to get to watch this team from their very first game to here. Like, it's just been, yeah, like I keep saying, I just am so happy about this team. Like, this team did not disappoint me today, even though they didn't get to advance. I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm so excited for the next season. The AFC is the second team, the second expansion team to clinch a playoff position in their inaugural season. So that's something that we should be really proud about with how this team came together. It's been a wild ride, and I'm just so thankful that we finally got a team and I got to watch it, and it's exciting. And yay, Bay.
Is that a chant?
Sure. I don't know. One that I created myself.
Dude, the way you're talking about it makes me miss playing soccer. like I'm ready to jump out there and like do something, But yeah, I am hoping that it becomes a little bit more accessible to watch these games. Because I mean the league is still kind of small or whatever. I don't know if they're putting enough I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they're like, it's very limited on how you can watch the games. And I don't live in San Jose. I don't have season tickets. Like, I couldn't watch them as often as you could, but I wish I could have. Like this is something that I kind of was like hoping for ever since I was little. Like looking up to women soccer players as I was growing up at a young girl soccer player. But yeah, we'll see what happens next season, and hopefully they'll expand that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Yeah, I think so. So once again, thank you, Bay FC, for an amazing run in your inaugural season. Exciting playoff opportunity. Didn't get to get that tying goal, and with an opportunity to advance into the semifinals. But like I said, I can't be disappointed with this team. It's been so exciting to have a professional women's soccer team out here in the Bay, and getting to watch them do all these amazing things. So that's going to conclude our episode for this week. As always, I am your host, Jey.
I'm co-host Ness. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Goodbye. Bye.